that I will release all of the transcripts of all of the speeches I have given to Wall Street. And because I believe in transparency on this matter, I am going to make all of those transcripts available to you right now. Are you ready? Yeah! Here they come. You got them? That's it. No speeches, no transcripts, not for $225,000, not for $2. But I am keeping my cell phone on because I am waiting for that call from JP Morgan Chase or Goldman Sachs saying, Bernie, we want you to give a speech to Wall Street. Now, I don't need $200,000, I don't need $2, but I would like to speak to Wall Street, and I can tell you why. Because it is important for somebody to tell Wall Street that their greed, their recklessness, and their illegal behavior seriously hurt the lives of millions of our fellow Americans. As a result of their actions, their illegal actions, millions of Americans lost their jobs, their homes, and their life savings, and many of those people have yet to recover. Now, the other point that I would like to make to Wall Street is when Congress, against my vote, bailed them out, when Congress bailed them out because the major banks were too big to fail, turns out that 3 out of the 4 largest banks today are bigger now than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail. Turns out that 5 major banks could not recently pass what's called a living will process, telling us how they would break themselves up in the event of a financial crisis for those banks. Turns out also that in the last week or two, Goldman Sachs, one of the large financial institutions on Wall Street, reached a $5 billion settlement with the United States government. You know why they reached that settlement? Because they acknowledged that they were selling worthless packages of subprime mortgage loans. And they, of course, were not the only bank. Other major banks reached even larger settlements. So point number one, I want you to think about this as we think outside of the box. Wall Street is the most powerful entity in the United States of America. They have more economic and political power than any other entity in our country. And yet it turns out that the business model for the major financial institutions is fraud. And that is why when 3 out of 4 are larger than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail, today we have got to break them up. And here is another point that gets the American people very cynical and very angry. Some kid in Pennsylvania today gets picked up for possessing marijuana. That kid will have a criminal record for his entire life. But turns out that if you are an executive for a major Wall Street firm whose illegal behavior destroys the lives of millions of Americans, the only thing you get is an increase in your compensation package. is why together we are going to bring justice back to a broken criminal justice system.